To put it simply, today is mostly made up of updates. While I was on the bus, I did some things that I will show you in a video. The rollout slide that is attached to my toolbox needs to be fixed most of the time. One of these jobs has to do with the cooling system, and it might also involve making the engine run better. Additionally, Scott Crosby, the person who made Bus Grease Monkey, is a bus mechanic and helps many people who are crazy about old buses. Because he fell in love with old cars as a child, he now loves rebuilding Detroit Diesel 71 series engines and is an expert in the field. You can see more of Scott than just his grease-covered hands and wrenches, even though many of his YouTube fans see his videos as nothing more than entertainment. He not only taught bus owners how to take care of their old buses, but he also drove his Silverside bus all over the country. His story is a mix of adventures and dedication. Come along with us as we look into things you didn't know about Scott Crosby. We'll buy gas at this truck stop down the road on the way to the next stop. Bus Grease Monkey is Scott Crosby's stage name. He is an American-born and bred vintage bus technician who works all over the world. He's always been interested in how things work, which is where his nickname came from. He loved taking different home appliances apart and putting them back together again as a child to figure out how each part worked. He had a successful career in the auto industry because he was always interested in new things. As of now, Scott has a YouTube channel where he shares his love of old buses and teaches others how to restore and preserve these valuable antiques. The Bus Grease Monkey is more than just his do-it-yourself movies, though. There are many other things about him that might surprise you. Scott used to be a photographer, but it wasn't just any photographer. This is one of many things about him that not many people know. His background was pretty broad, and it included both his creative genius and his ability to do good mechanical work. The first step Scott took to become a photographer was getting a part-time job at a photography studio. This started when he was a college student. During college, he learned useful things that sparked his interest in art and eventually made him want to become a professional photographer. In his career as a photographer, Scott worked with a lot of different clients and on a lot of different projects. This showed how flexible he was. During that time, Scott did more than just take pictures. He also told stories in his photos which made them more meaningful to his customers. People in the community praised his ability to tell unique stories through photographs, and he quickly moved on to bigger and better projects. One of his more ambitious projects was to use old buses in his photo shoots, which gave his work a more unique look. Even so, it's important to remember that Scott wasn't just taking pictures of random buses, they were used as props by him. The buses gave him new places to take pictures, which helped the quality of his pictures get better overall. Not only did the creative choices he made set his work apart from those of his competitors, but he also learned more about the historical importance of old buses. That was the beginning of everything. The work that Scott did as a photographer changed the way he dealt with problems, which later helped him be successful as a vintage bus repairman. He bought some old buses for his own use after using them as props for a while. This was the start of everything. He bought a hippie bus at an auction one day. He chose to drive the bus by himself because he couldn't find anyone else to do it. During the long trip, he unexpectedly remembered how much he loved machines as a child. This made him decide to fix it and then keep it in good shape. As soon as some minor repairs were done, Scott started taking the bus on his usual trips. On one of those trips, though, the car eventually broke down. That being said, he took the bus to a mechanic to get it fixed. However, even after spending more than $22,000 on repairs, the bus still didn't work right. They chose for Scott to work on the hippie bus on his own time because he was angry and didn't want to waste money. In a step-by-step way, Scott and his son Tyler worked together to fix the thing. These two people took out the engine, read through the bus's paperwork, and fixed something on the outside. After all the hard times and mistakes they had to go through, they not only fixed the hippie bus, they gave it new life. Even though the process was hard, Scott's interest in machines was sparked again by it. But that wasn't the only thing. While Scott was fixing up the hippie bus, he was able to get in touch with a friend whose car had broken down while they were traveling. The friend had a similar experience to Scott. He spent over $2,000 fixing up his bus, but nothing changed. Scott was lucky for us because he had just fixed his own bus and was ready to help. It took Scott and Tyler less time to finish the restoration this time than the last time they worked together. After the repair was done, Scott realized that there was a big need for reliable bus technicians. After that, he chose to put down the camera and get some wrenches. The idea for the touring bus Grease Monkey adventure came from the fact that he bought a 1948 GM 3751 Silverside bus and fixed it up so that it could be both his workshop and home vehicle. Ever since Scott switched careers and started working in the auto industry, he spends most of his days driving across North America in his beautifully restored Silverside bus to help people whose old buses or cars have broken down. One of his goals is to bring together bad bus mechanics and people who own old buses. His goal is clear and unique, but Scott isn't good at fixing all kinds of cars. He can only fix and maintain Detroit diesel 71 series engines, which are used in a lot of old buses. Indeed, Scott isn't the only self-taught mechanic out there. What makes him unique, though, is his dedication to working on older cars. Modern engines are usually made up of a lot of complicated computer parts and electrical systems. The Detroit Diesel 71 series, on the other hand, is completely mechanical. The thing that Scott values most is how simple things are. Because he knows these engines well, he can quickly and accurately spot problems, which often keeps bus owners from having to pay for repairs and other costs that aren't necessary. As another thing that sets him apart from other mechanics, the way he works is especially interesting. For example, Scott runs a mobile workshop while other people stay in their car shops all the time. He keeps going straight to where the buses are, no matter if they are parked in a driveway or stuck on the side of the road. Not only does he tune up machines, but he also rebuilds whole engines. This makes sure that the old machines will keep working for many years to come. As part of his job, he also gives informative talks on how to fix and take care of the buses properly. But that's not the end of it. In a world full of great mechanics, Scott's business plan is the only one of its kind. It sets him apart from the others. We can all agree that Scott's approach goes beyond just fixing engines, even though he is one of a kind as a touring antique bus mechanic. The fact that the bus's owners are helping to fix it is another thing that makes the experience overall good. He gives bus owners a $15 per hour discount on labor if they work with him throughout the whole process. This is one of the most interesting things about how he does business. It's not just the chance to save money that makes this offer look good. Scott has thought of a great way to teach bus owners by letting them use their old buses in real life. Scott gives the owners a great chance to learn everything they need to know about their Detroit Diesel 71 series engine by having them take part. If the bus owner does this, they will not only be able to leave with a vehicle that works well, but they will also learn more about how to keep the bus in good shape in the future. The main thing that Scott wants to do is not just fix engines, he also wants to keep the history of old buses alive and share what he has learned. Besides being a repairman, Scott thinks it's okay to share his experiences and what he knows on his YouTube channel, which is called Bus Grease Monkey. He didn't post his first video until 2012. It was called Benny the Bus, GM New Look Hippie Bus. Even though he had started the channel in 2006, this was the case. A lot of people might be wondering why Scott needs to start a YouTube channel when he already has a following of bus owners who follow him around and learn how to fix their buses. Scott is always on the go, so he thought that bus owners from all over the world would be interested in hearing from a Detroit diesel engine specialist and getting tips on how to keep their cars in good shape. It's clear that Scott is very good at what he does and really values teaching and fixing things. Providing his fellow fans with information that they can use right away is important to him, and he knows it. He talks about a lot of different things on his channel, from rebuilding engines to basic maintenance. His main goal is to help both experienced mechanics and people who want to learn more about the field. Some of his videos are live repair woes and others are how-to videos for do-it-yourself projects. Scott also lets his fans and subscribers take part in question and answer sessions where he talks about his work in real time. Over the past few years, his channel has grown a lot, gaining viewers from all over the world. Bus Grease Monkey has more than 180,000 subscribers and more than 75.4 million views as of January 2025.